Welcome. This morning I'm going to show us how to take a Fusion file using Adobe Illustrator so that we can use the universal laser to produce a part. So stick around, it's going to be amazing. So this process starts obviously in Fusion. Here we have a flat pattern part that is ideal for lasering out. This is part of a cell phone kickstand, the student's design. So how do we generate the information that Adobe needs in order to create this pattern so we can laser it out? So the way I do it is the first step is we need to generate a DXF file. And the easiest way to generate a DXF file is we are going to start another sketch on the surface in which we would be lasering from, so from this view. So, and all we're going to do is we want to project onto the sketch all the lines or circle segments we need that that we want lasered out. So the easiest way, because I want everything here, is to go P on the keyboard, which is project. I'm going to project everything. And you can see all these lines come through in purple. And if I turn off the body, you can really see like this is what is going to be produced in the DXF. And this will allow us to basically tell the laser we want to cut all this out on the laser end. So this is what we want to export into Illustrator. So we're going to hit Finish Sketch. And Illustrator reads a file called DXF. And you can take a sketch, and if you right click, you can save as a DXF. So we're going to go ahead and hit Save as a DXF. And I'm just going to call this cell phone kickstand demo. And I am going to save it to my downloads so I know where it's at. It's just a temporary place, so we hit save. Now, before we leave Fusion, one thing we need to know is we need to know the base unit that this thing was designed in. So it was designed in millimeters. If it was designed in inches, then we would need to know that, because when we import it into Illustrator, it is best to import it in as the base units. Yes, you can convert it. I tend to have a lot of problems with students trying to do that, so it's much easier. If you're doing it in millimeters on Fusion, then we want to work in millimeters in Illustrator. If we're working in inches in Fusion, we're going to work in inches in Illustrator. So now that we have this done, we're going to hop over into Illustrator. We have this saved. So here we are now in Illustrator. And so the first step is we're going to create a new file. Now I've done this before, so I have my two custom files, but I'm going to go over how to do it. So if our laser has a work envelope 32 inches wide by 18 inches tall. So I have created two files called custom. One is in inches, one is in millimeters. So 32 by 18, I set this to inches, and then put 32 here and 18 here. In millimeters, because we're converting from imperial to metric, we have this really weird number, 812.8 millimeters by 457.2 millimeters, which is the equivalent of 32 by 18 in inches. So depending on which one we're using, we're obviously importing millimeters, so we'll use this one. And then the other big thing is you need to use RGB. This is critical for the laser. The default is CMYK. We do not want to use CMYK. We are going to switch it to RGB. So once you do that, you hit create, and it should create this custom for you for future forward. But I already have this, so I'm just going to click on this one and hit create. And we're going to get a blank document, and this sheet is the size of the laser. So this will help you scale it appropriately in your head. The part we're bringing in is roughly like 115 millimeters tall by like 55 or 57 millimeters wide. So roughly in inches, that's just short of 6 inches tall, about 5.5 inches tall by about 2.8 inches wide, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we should be able to scale. If the thing is almost the size of this page, which is 18, we obviously know we have a problem. So the next step is we are going to go File, Open. And we are going to open the document I saved in Downloads, which is, I gotta go Downloads, the cell phone kickstand demo. And we're going to press Open. And it's going to ask us, do we want to bring in an original style? Do we want to scale to this artboard, or we want to scale by and we want to scale by 100% with a 1-to-1 ratio in millimeters because we started in millimeters. So notice we're staying the trend, Fusion millimeters, Adobe Illustrators, everything's in millimeters. Don't try to convert. Technically, you can scale it here and convert it from inches to millimeters, but students tend to make mistakes with that, so it's easier just to keep it all the same. And now this has been brought in. It's upside down. That doesn't really matter. And we have our object that we want. Now, we're going to do a couple of things. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to convert this to a cut path. And the way to do that is I'm going to select the whole thing, and it's under appearance. So the things you need to know is anything in black and white or any color other than pure red and pure blue will be interpreted as a bitmap. So it's going to go back and forth and laser in just a black line along here. It's not going to burn through. It's not going to cut it out. It's going to take a very long time to do this. We need to convert this to something where the laser follows this path, burning all the way through the material. And to do that, we have to adjust this row right here. So the color and the line weight. So we're going to click the color. We're going to go to colors, click on colors, and here are RGB figures. They should be all 0 because it's pure black. We are going to take red and make it pure red. Now this will indicate to the laser I want to burn through on this. So we go ahead and make it pure red. And then we are going to also, oops, I unselected it. We're going to change the line weight to 0.0. You gotta make sure everything's gone. 0.001. And this is going to suddenly become kind of hard to see, but the laser is looking for pure red and what's called a hairline for laser cutting, and hairline in Adobe is 0.001. So now if I take this and I told it to print on the laser, it would cut out this shape. But we're going to do a little bit more. We're going to add some text. We're going to write some words. I'm going to flip this upside 180 degrees so that I can read it a little bit better, and this is actually how it would sit. So I'm going to put LHS, which is the high school, across the top, and then I might bring in a logo. So I'm going to go ahead and go to text, and I'm going to make a window for text. And because this isn't that critical, and then I'm going to type, obviously, LHS in capital letters. I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to use my skills over here with center justified. We're also going to be center justified within the box. And then I'm going to play with the fonts. And it gives me, I like this because it'll give me what it'll look like, the text will look like, and what I want. I'm thinking this kind of regal looking one. We're going to increase the points. And there we go. Now, I do not want this text. This will burn in black going back and forth. I want to cut just the outline of LHS like an engraving. So to do that, I'm going to come back up here to fill, and I'm going to turn off the fill. I am going to turn on the stroke, which will give me a outline of the letters, and then I'm going to make it pure blue, and I'm going to give it a point value of 0.001. So what now is going to happen? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's delete that. Click on this again. The point value has to be 0.001. And now what will happen is the letters will be engraved by the laser coming and following this blue path, not burning all the way through, burning into the material. So you'll end up with what more looks like, it'll look like this, but it'll be straight lined and created very, very quickly. So that's how we would add engraving to the lasering. So pure blue does engraving, pure red does cutting. Now we're going to add in a logo. Okay, so let's add the logo. So we're going to go to File, Place, and we have a Lincoln High School logo. So I'm going to go ahead and place it over here, and it's massive, which is too big for what I want, but we're going to scale it down. So this will lock in the sizes when they're chained together. Means if I change the height, it will proportionally change the scale appropriately. So let's go ahead and reduce it. I'm going to play with the height. So I'm going to make it half the size it is right now and make it 100 millimeters. and it's scaled appropriately. That's still not going to fit. We're going to do it again to 50 millimeters. That might fit. I'm going to drag it over here. It's still too big. Let's make it 30 millimeters. I'm trying to fit it right down here in this bottom corner. I can zoom here. So we're at 88%. Let's go to like 150%. That's probably good. I'm going to bring it down because remember, this is where the bottom of the phone sits. So we're going to have this nice little logo there. So now we have placed our logo and we're ready to process this. So this file is now ready to go, and we would just save it onto a flash drive. And for those of you who don't know how to do that, you're going to insert a flash drive into your computer. You're going to go to File, Save, and it's going to ask you where do you want to save it. We're going to save it in the cloud, but we can also save it to our computer. And we are going to save it into the flash drive, which mine is my name. And I'm just going to save it as this, and I can go ahead and hit Save. And then it says OK, and now I have a copy on the flash drive, and I can go out to the laser computer and open it up, and we're going to hit Control P to print. This is going to print here. We don't have the laser hooked up to this machine, but we would switch to the VLS 660, and then I have a different video, I believe, that shows you how to do that process. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this is helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.